I hate that too.
But see, Nintendo started this. And the reason why is because if you know that you have value in something, why drop it? Nintendo's been doing this for God knows how long. Dude, there is Super NES games that are $50, $60. NES games, $60. Nintendo's never moved. No, they never moved position on their main titles because they know if I'm the only place you can get it from, why am I going to move? You don't have to move just because.
So in essence, they know the block.
Yes. Why move?
You gotta respect the hustle right there, because if they know they can sell it as a market price, they know.
If Pokemon Pearl and what is it, Brilliant Pearl Diamond is $60 on the Switch, but Gold and Silver is $60 on the Nintendo DS. They hold the same value, and they know it's not going to drop.
Now here's the question.
It's kind of like a watch.
Here's the question. Speaking of all these practices in business, does good business for the business always come at the cost of the consumer? Is good business...
I think it's how you see it. It's a perspective thing.
For instance, like you were talking about right now, Pokemon games, right? Still full price. Hell, Zelda, the last, not the latest one.
Yeah, the new Zelda is still $60.
Tears of the Kingdom, the one before that, I forget, but
yeah,
it's still full priced.
Right.
Or Mario World, or the first Mario game on the Switch.
Yes.
Still full priced.
Right, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll give you one better. How many times have you seen them put it on sale for a week?
I can't recall.
Maybe once.
As a joke.
Maybe once. Just as a pure flyer. Now you may see one of them or two go on sale for Black Friday, but that's a one-off.
Wait, hold on. The Super, they still selling the box Super Mario. The one for like 64.
Oh, you're talking about the classic, classic systems.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them on the market this year.
They was going crazy last year.
Yeah, they were going dumb. I haven't seen them on the market, so I'm not 100% sure.
They were going stupid.
They were.
No, they were.
But it's all about. You asked a good question. Is it good for consumers? It depends, because if you are a person who knows how to preserve certain things and hold certain things, and you know that it holds value, you can ultimately keep it and keep it for value, or somewhere down the line you could flip it, because if Nintendo's saying the value of this game is $50, and all it's going to do when it becomes more and more rare, guess what Diamond and Gold is on the Nintendo DS? That's $50 now. The value of it is probably $100. No, it's the opposite. It's $100 and something, because it maintained value when it was in mass circulation, and then when it becomes a rarity, and people want to add it to their, I want to finish my Nintendo collection or whatever it may be. Oh, I so happen to have Pokemon Gold.
So just like
Give
the
me
cards.
200. Yes, it can hold value. It's just like Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, especially like first edition Magic. They could hold value if the company maintains the value of that product. But let's say this happened. Let's say that gold and like silver and gold was really good. But let's say that Pearl and Diamond when it was on the Switch was trash. It devalues every game that's before it. So you have to still maintain a good product. It's kind of like the difference between Apple products and Samsung products. Apple products, for some rare reason, and Apple has gotten this right, it holds value. What I mean by that is the cost point for the 16 is only $50 more than the cost of the 15. The 15 held value.
Now,
the 14, even though it's a different make and build, it's still $1,000 some odd dollars.
And you gotta think about it too. The watches.
No, I'm just saying.
Apple Watch.
Yeah, I'm just telling you just for stuff that you use on a day to day.
Yeah.
Apple has maintained value. It's like a stinking what was it? An iPhone 8 is still $300. That phone should be obsolete. You shouldn't even be looking at an 8, and you can still buy an 8 for $300 because it still holds value. Mm-hmm. And that's
a good mark.
That is 8 generations of phones ago. Y'all do understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah, no, I get what you're coming from.
That phone is 10 years old.
The funny thing is, people will still buy it.
Yes, because they just want any iPhone whatsoever. I don't care. I don't want to spend $1,600, but I'll spend $400 for a tech that is 10 years old. and they'll still buy it just because it's Apple, just so they can say that I have an Apple product. Really? But Apple understood that. Other companies don't understand
That's
it.
why they ain't gonna never go out of
If you
business.
hold the value of
They ain't gonna
something,
never go out of business.
Apple will always be a strong company because they know how to hold value. Microsoft is a strong company because they know how to hold value. It's not in the Xboxes per se, even though they did really smart with that. It's in the operating system.
Well, like, speaking of that, like my brother, right? He's got a Fire Stick.
Yep.
You can play Xbox games with a Fire Stick and an Xbox controller.
Yep.
And he says it's rough, but it works. Like, he's playing the new Call of Duty campaign.
Yes.
He says it's laggy, but the fact that it works and it's playable is a testament.
Right. You do know if you buy the new Samsung TV, you don't have to buy a console. All you have to do is just load the Xbox Game Pass app on your TV like an app, connect the controller, and you're good.
Because like this is what Xbox has been trying to do for the longest time.
And they just succeeded. All they have to do is just
Refine it.
figure out the install base and figure out this gaming situation. That's the only thing Microsoft is kind of like teetering on because they're trying to figure all this out.
They know for a fact people will always want to buy consoles, but it's clearly not their priority anymore.
They're trying to get away. You want to know why they're trying to get away? Because they know that there's not much value in it. You know what they're doing next? And they just announced it, like semi-announced it, they're going to put the handheld out finally. And the problem with that is, you're 3 years too late.
Oh yeah.
You should have put it out there. You should have, if you were going to throw the handheld out there, you should have thrown it out there against the original Switch.
Or
Like,
even the Wii U era.
No, you throw it out with the Switch. You reason why? Because
The
if
Wii
you're
U,
going to, instead of them,
the Wii U there did kind of good.
no,
Though.
the reason why is because if you knew that Game Pass was the ticket, why throw the Series X's and X's out there like random when you know all you wanted to do was throw it on an app anyway? You just wait a little bit, and if you're going to do that, you just compete against the Steam Deck, which you would have clipped already, and then the Switch, which you would have took some of their market away.
It's really weird. It's like they're trying to become like PC.
They always want to be PC. The only reason why they got into the gaming market because Sony needed to have competition, and Nintendo wasn't enough competition for Sony. So they needed a third party. You know who that third party was supposed to be, and they just never got to it. It was
Atari?
No, it was supposed to be Sega. Sega was supposed to come. They always have a console ready to go. It's just they can't jump into the mix now because
But
they're
you
too
know
far
what's so
behind.
funny about that? You can still see Sega platforms on certain video games as well when
Well, just think
as
about
a presentation. Because remember, Sega still really was big and popular.
think
Still
about,
to this day.
think about the
Oh, you can thank Sonic for that.
no.
Yeah.
Think about the franchises that's popping right now. Sonic and Shadow. That game, fire. It's a great Sonic game.
Sonic Mania. I'm playing that.
Yeah, Persona. Everybody says as far as like RPGs, it's a top notch
I'm playing
RPG.
Sonic Mania right from here as we speak.
Their new RPG that just came out with
It'd be a good Knuckles.
yeah, I know. That's what I always said. I was always thought it was Knuckles or
Yeah, I can
Tails.
see that.
What was it?
Nah, he's too nice to be
We'll be
Tails.
Dr. Robotic.
Yeah. Metaphor was good. Yakuza series is fantastic, by the way. All this stuff is Sega. Sega always
Was Metal Gear?
no.
Metal Gear was.
No, that was
Metal is
Konami.
That was not.
But
okay.
Sega always had the arsenal of games, and if they just pulled their games up and did it old school and put it on their console, and stopped being a third party and just became a first party,
Dude, if they do that, they'll make a lot of
they
money.
would have put so much pressure on Sony or on they would put pressure on Sony
You know, it
because
feels
they were
weird.
you
their
know what's-
exclusives would trump
But you
each
know
other.
what's so funny about that too, Kim? Now that you mentioned, since we brought up the Sega thing, I still see people still buy on eBay or stuff like that Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturn. Like my homeboy, he said, I talked to my homeboy not too long ago. We was talking about old school. I said, he was like, man, I always wanted a Sega Saturn. I said, you can get it off eBay. And sure enough, he bought it. He said, but he got all the old school, so it came. He said, I ended up spending like $550, which
Real quick,
that chump change, but for him, but
off top, bringing up the Sega Gamecast reminds me of remember Malibu's Most Wanted,
yeah.
where they're in that dude's house. He's like, "Yo, we want to play some games? He's like, you got PlayStation? Oh, no, I got Gamecast."
I can't afford it.
That's funny.
But,
I forgot about that. I got a game. That's funny in more ways than one. That's kind of comes to fruition these days. That's funny.
I got Gamecast, man.
I got a game cast. That's funny.
If they was because like if they put like for example, say went from '97, the year '97 games all the way up to those on the consoles. That,
So Sega could have put a lot of pressure on companies. The reason why they got scared is because when they went head up against Sony the first go round, they got clipped, and they didn't get clipped because that they were a bad console.
No,
their console was better. Sony just made a technical difference that separated each other, and they made it more accessible.
Because wouldn't that was what '96?
Yeah.
Because remember, the other games
Had zero to do with games.
Yeah.
I had zero to do with it. They did something that was
When they
unheard
put it in
of.
a CD.
When they put a DVD drive into a gaming console, which they said you don't even have to play games on this thing. You could just buy this as a DVD player, but you could play games on it too. So parents was like, well, my
it's
kids can play on
multi-purpose.
it, and it's multi-purpose, and I could play DVDs on it too. And I don't have to buy a separate DVD player. Oh, I'm Gucci. I'll get this instead. They made a technical difference, which kicked Sony, kicked Sega out of the mix. Because Sega, even though they had the tech there, they didn't pull the trigger on it. They did a cool blockbuster thing. They did the blockbuster thing. They stayed on their laurels and didn't want to change when they should have. And if they would have changed first, they would have clipped Sony, and Sony wouldn't be talking about it. It would be Sega, not Sony.
Is it still around? Sega?
Yeah, they're still around as a company.
I know it's still around, but you know,
They just don't make hardware.
They just don't do hardware. They're just a software company that generates really good games now.
Now that's $1 million question. You think you make a new console?
They always have a
they
always have a console. You know, Atari has a console. Sega has a console. A lot of these companies have consoles that they can roll out. It's just if they were to roll them out, the problem is they don't have. You have to pull them off platforms that you kind of want your stuff on right now because it's too much money involved now.
Yeah.
Because they basically transformed their companies from being a first party to basically, in essence, a third party, just to roll them out to different platforms.
Yeah, because gaming's headed towards a singularity of sorts, where there's not going to be console or PC anymore. It's just going to be kind of apps.
I mean, I think it'll be PC only because the graphical differences you're going to have to do it because there will be no TV that could be able to support a graphics card inside the TV to make it work as well.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, like PC was here first, and PC will be here long after.
Yeah. So,
But consoles themselves will kind of fade into obscurity in about the next 20 years.
right. So I will always say that like your Sonys and stuff, they're going to be ultimately they're going to be a third party. And Microsoft is kind of like being like quasi third party, but they're not really third party. They want to be more like Steam and Epic, and one of them will be like, look, you can just play the games on here. You don't have to get no console, just throw the app on, play our stuff. This is why they start buying all these franchises. Because they said, I don't want to get consoles. I want, just play the games. We'll make the money off the game. That's why they put the money up for Activision Blizzard. Because they know that as soon as we bought it, it was instant money in our pocket. Doesn't matter that Call of Duty is kind of so-so. And it's actually not so-so. The new Call of Duty is actually pretty alright.
I played a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty alright.
It's alright.
The story's great. The online is still kind of but it's playable, and Warzone is still doing numbers. So they bought it for that. But keep in mind all the other stuff that Microsoft has done. They've done really good stuff, but they've been buying IPs. They'd be like, well, Starfield did hit. True. But guess what? They're still working on it, and it's going to be that good game. It's just going to take a lot longer than what everybody wanted it to be. Let them take its time. Do the little Cyberpunk thing, because guess what? It took Cyberpunk a couple of years before it got right, and guess what that became? That became dang near a masterpiece. And guess what they're working on for 2? So if they can get 2 even remotely looking like 1, the way that they left it off, then Cyberpunk 2 is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, if Cyberpunk 2 launches like how the first one finished, and it's that state, oh, dude, there'd be numbers.
Oh, they're going to... Now, this is what I say. It's the same thing like Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto has no place to go but down.
I really think Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to disappoint a lot of people.
Because it can only go down.
Because it's been, what, almost 15 years?
15 years.
But people will still buy it.
No.
Oh, no, they're going to buy it,
You're going to buy it
but they're
by
going to be
default.
disappointed.
Because it's not going to be in... You're not going to... That game can't... It will be impossible. And I love the squad at Rockstar. They're great. But it's impossible to start a game in the state that you're leaving 5. 5 is, like I said, it's the most complete game made. nobody will dispute that. It's hard to do better. This is why I'm surprised that they're actually doing a 6. They could have just left 5 alone. Y'all could have been working some other IPs. Go bring back LA Noir. Go bring back Midnight Club. Go do some of that stuff.
Max Payne.
Max Payne is another one y'all could be bringing out. Bring some of them out. The only thing 6 is going to do is going to generate numbers, but it's going to fail.
Yeah, I think
it's set up to fail.
I mean, the only thing they're gonna do because people still play online. That's on for.
They know that. It's gonna be. It's kind of like
thing.
it's like Call of Duty. It's going to generate so much
because
money.
A lot of people like for Grand Theft Auto, a lot of people didn't care about the storyline of Grand. A lot of people cared about more of the playing online.
Why? Because that game is basically 4 games wrapped into one, and everybody knows it.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's the most. I ain't gonna say it's the best game. It's just the most complete game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now it's gonna make a lot of money. Obviously, no doubt about that. I'm not gonna say it's gonna make a net negative, but people are gonna be. It's just they're gonna be disappointed. It's like the whole reason, like Half-Life 3 will probably never be a thing, because during the era of Half-Life 2 when that came out, it was regarded as a phenomenal game. And then they waited a long time for 3 that never came, and their expectations only grew. They've grown so much to the point where now the only thing they're going to feel is disappointment. I feel like that's going to be with GTA 6.
Because you got to remember, Half-Life 2 is considered to be a top 10 game of all time. Same position as Grand Theft Auto 5. It's considered to be a top 10 game of all time. The reason why people was disappointed in Cyberpunk, because guess what? Witcher 3 is considered to be one of the 3 best RPGs of all time. And people say it ain't even close. I mean, I can make a conversation to make a lot of other RPGs closer to that, but a lot of people say that it ain't close.
You know how it is, man. You're only as good as your last game.
Right, but if you left your last game in such a good state, and then you started off your new game as trash, and you have the expectation like, oh, it's got to be solid. It's got to be because of the team that's doing it. CD Projekt Red should be good for it because they just gave us Witcher 3 and it was fire. And they gave us a trash. Well, I know it was trash. It was just an incomplete. Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it was gimped.
Right, but once they put all the pieces together and start putting the vision together, it's like, look, if you just gave it, and all they're telling you is, if you just gave us more time, this is what we were trying to give y'all. Now, since y'all wanted to wait, it's cool. For the people who waited and played it, especially now with the DLC content and all the patches and stuff, that game was
easily one of the best games of the era.
Oh, got it.
Easily.
Got it.
I'm just thinking, though, it's like, when GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be complete. It's going to be playable. It's going to be fine. That's the problem. It's just going to be fine.
It's not. I just can't see. There's certain games that you can see them doing some special stuff. I can see Starfield becoming special down the line.
Unless we're going to be...
Yes. I can see that.
Unless it's going to be like...
Because...
We're doing a heist on the moon or something.
Yeah, but you can't... But see, you can't do that.
Yeah,
because you got Starfield when you're going to do that. And I'm telling you, if Starfield, because they're throwing more and more resources to it, it's going to be in a good state. It just needs 2 years. It just needs to cook.
Well, yeah, that's a problem though too. Is like nowadays games take forever to make.
But here's the thing that people don't understand. You kind of need the time to play some of these games. When you're just throwing game after game after game after game, guess what? A lot of your AAA titles are getting washed out not because they're bad games. It's just because you don't have time to play them.
I guarantee you, I don't guarantee, but I say, like Call of Duty example, they come out practically yearly, right?
Yep.
So, I'm telling you, if they came out like every 3 to 4 years, every single COD that would come out would easily be Game of the Year contender.
It's Game of the Year contender right now. If you were to give it 1 year gap, just like skip a year, then come out with one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because a lot of people, like a lot of the Call of Duties for the past, 4 years or so, 5, have always been like all these mixed receptions and whatnot. They're good games, they're playable games, right? But people are always saying, well, it's more the same. Well, yeah, because they're getting churned out at such a fast rate that...
Here's where people are starting to figure out where it's more of the same. So if you loaded it on Game Pass, let's say you loaded, what was it, not Black Ops, what was the one before it? Call of Duty...
So, Black Ops 6 right now, the one before it is Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, so when you loaded Modern Warfare 3, if you loaded Modern Warfare 3 first, you notice if you already had your setup for Modern Warfare 3, you notice that Black Ops 6 was just a patch in.
Yeah.
It's not a brand new game on the side of it. It's a patch patch-in to the break.
It's almost like an extension.
Yeah, it's a patch-in. So if it's a patch-in, that means that game's been patched in for a long period of time. Y'all just now seeing it because they haven't put in like I'm making it a brand new IP with brand new specs. Now they gave you new mechanics.
Yeah, with the Omni movement and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's still a patch-in. So they're basically using the core of the game that's been sitting there for 3 years, 4 years probably, and they're just patching it in.
So is it more accurate to say it's deviation, not evolution?
No, it's a glorified DLC.
I think that's one of the reasons why it's really a Game Pass title.
Right, because it literally looks like it looks like a DLC to me. It's just a big patch DLC, kind of like what Cyberpunk did when they gave you that extendo pack. And I'm not saying, again, this is not a knock against the storyline of Call of Duty, because I played a little bit of it.
Yeah,
the storyline looks good.
Everyone's loving the campaign of BO6.
Yes.
People are enjoying the zombies. People are kind of mixed on they're mixed on the multiplayer. Because the multiplayer is kind of wonky.
It's just kind of wonky. It's just
it don't help with the new mechanics.
It's just too much sliding and dipping and all.
And it don't help that you got P. Diddy on there?
Yeah, that too. Speaking of Diddy, can I get 5 seconds on Diddy?
Go ahead. Mike is yours.
Did y'all know Denzel was at that party?
I'm not surprised.
Nah, I kind of am.
Really?
You didn't see that.
I'm kind of am.
Really?
You didn't see that.
No, that's if you told me on the bingo card, like the celebrities that was there. I mean, we knew TJ, some of them. Denzel was one of those ones that you would think would have kind of skated a lot of that limelight.
I don't know. I thought his character in Training Day did a good job portraying who he is.
But that's the. I ain't trying to Training Day the boy, but it's just weird to see him because when you see him, he's been with his wife for God knows how long. He's been in church for God knows how long. I mean, like 20 years. He goes to West Angeles. He's been in church for like all the time. Anybody goes to West Angeles pulls up on him at any given point in time, on any given Sunday, for real. But he at the Diddy party, and they know he was at the Diddy party because when that little girl that gave the interview said, "Look, yeah, I was sure it was Denzel because he was up there with the chain on and some boots." I was like, "Yo!" I was like, "Really, Zell? This is what we doing?" out of all the ones that hit my nah. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there. I wasn't like that wasn't what I wanted to talk about, but I threw it out there because I just saw that.
You know, everyone is suspect, man. Everyone of class is suspect.
They are trying to pay people off. Celebrities are like, look, if y'all don't want y'all stuff out there, y'all better start paying these people not to talk, because all these people who got these suits up there, they know who was there. Because again, you may be mentally like, I ain't really like there and aware of everybody, but you can pick out a celebrity. I'll tell you that. It'd be hard not to pick out a celebrity in the mix. I heard Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis is having problems because he was at the party on the turn up and he in trouble. He gonna trick off his marriage and trick off a whole bunch of bread. Like I said, it's gonna get ugly. We ain't gonna talk about Megan Thee Stallion lying about her being with Tory Lanez and basically Boldface put him in jail off lying. We ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna leave that part alone.
Who was shot? Her.
She was shot. Now, here's my thing. And I will 5 seconds on this. Tory had the gun. I don't think he did shoot. Honest answer.
They had the gun.
He had the gun. I think that, because he was trying to be super thug at the party. Now, why you trying to be super thug at Kylie Jenner party is beyond me. Ain't no need to be toting a gun when you at a celebrity party.
Because it's a persona.
But why you trying to be super thug? Why you trying to be super thug at Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian party? Really?
You know how that goes.
Man, all you doing is surrounded.
You've been to one of those.
You surrounded.
You've been to one of those.
Can I be? You just surrounded by ass. What are we doing here? You coming up with Megan Thee Stallion and her girl, and you in front of it. And the reason why they arguing because
dudes do that, they would be like, man, we.
Yeah, but
you don't. But then
you're not acknowledging. You at the pool party. Let me take out my wallet, my keys, I mean, come on, really? At a Hollywood party? And I know at the Hollywood parties they do that, but come on. Really? At their party? Now, I can see if you was at a P. Diddy party. I can see if you was at some other people's party. At a Jenner party? At a Kardashian party? No. Really? Who gonna pull up on y'all at a in Calabasas? Trust me, you can't even drive into Calabasas right. I can drive up in there because I got family who live out there. But most people can't even drive up in them hills the right way because they block you before you even get up there. They won't even let you even think about going there because not just them. It's a whole bunch of celebrity Rome. They all live in a line. And that's why they throw these parties. And that goes to me, saying, like, why is this pool just pulling up with the flick? Anyway, off that. What y'all want to talk about today?
Oh, this is our vocal warm-up.
I
know, that's what I said. What y'all want to talk about?
Feeling warm, baby? What's up?
Oh, no, we don't do that. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how corporations ruined Black Friday.
How corporations ruined Black Friday? Well, we can talk about that. That's Gucci.
Well, what do you have in mind, Paul?
I didn't want to laugh at the line when you say how corporate ruined Black Friday.
Right.
Yeah, Black Friday.
Talk about your people's holiday.
Now, here's the thing. We can talk about Black Friday from a...
Why you say it like that?
We're going to talk about Black Friday from a black perspective. We can talk about that from a minority perspective. We can talk about that.
it's like did they call it that because these prices are steel? Why did they call it that?
See, that's where I was going because they were steel, literally.
Wow.
Not figuratively, literally. Steel.
For the most part, you know.
But
I still don't know why they came up with that.
Cameron, do you remember your first Black Friday?
Yes.
Talk about it.
Dog, hold on.
Clearly, you didn't die.
Yeah, I didn't die. I almost got. I saw some people get trampled though. I was at Best Buy. Anyway, first of all, PVC Podcast Crew. Y'all know how we get down. Paul, Vic, and Cam. Y'all know the signature. We gonna skip the intro. We're gonna get right to the info. We'll come back and double back for our intro later. So Black Friday. First Black Friday I did was the first major one I did was at Best Buy, believe it or not. But this was in the era of people camping out overnight, freezing their butts off, eating Thanksgiving dinner out in the middle of the parking lot, people pulling up in their cars, you know, just like, yo, y'all want some food? And they hustling literally on the line because everybody was waiting. Now, people forget that era because we don't have that era anymore.
No, it's gone.
Yeah, that era is gone because the reason why it's gone is because so many bad things, for all the good stuff that happened, all the bad stuff happened. That's when people were getting ran up on for like PS3s. I remember that. I remember when the PSPs launched and they were sending them out for like Friday. People were there in their cars waiting for people to buy them just so they could snuff them at their car, rob them for their stuff, and dip. In a parking lot. Broad daylight, by the way. That's the type of stuff that would happen during Black Friday. You know, you ask the question, why do they call Black Friday Black Friday? Basically, Black Friday is when you're in the black, that means you're making money. In the red, you're losing money. Black people make money. Sorry. Black make money, red don't make, you know.
Oh, we going back in time. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the reason why they call it Black Friday, by the way. Because it was the only time where, because a lot of companies, before this time, Black Friday was one of those instances where companies will be losing money. And one company, so I forgot the company that decided to take a chance out there. I don't know if it was Zodi's or one of them. It was one of them old school companies that said, look, we're going to throw a whole bunch of stuff on sale because we want to get the foot traffic. Because for the items that we put on sale, we know that other people want to buy stuff that's not necessarily on sale. And we're going to make up the difference of what we lost throughout the whole year. That's why they call it Black Friday. Because for a lot of companies, even to this day, the day after Thanksgiving typically makes or breaks a company's every year. Don't get it wrong, even big companies. I mean, Targets, Walmart's, Best Buy. You make money throughout the whole year, but October, November, December is where the money is the difference between you being profitable, you breaking even, or you not making no money at all.
Bankrupt.
Or in business world, it's the difference between you getting a bonus, not getting a bonus, or you losing your job. You can win and lose your job in November and December. You can win a job in November and December, and you can lose a job in November and December. It just comes down, because that's really what it comes down to. Like, for real.
For real?
Yeah.
So, for me, my first Black Friday was when I first started with the company. It was funny because it was me and another guy, Garrison, so we were working together with the TVs at the time. So we had one last TV, and these two ladies just came in there, and I could just feel their presence. Like, is that my TV? That's my TV. So we set it down and
let the squad for it. See, this is the reason why they don't do Black Fridays now, because y'all would do that.
But see,
stuff.
I don't know. That was my first Black Friday. I'm just like, just a special Christmas week. We do it sales stuff like that. But I didn't know they had a theme on Black Friday until didn't understand.
No,
that's what it means. But
did y'all see the people? Hey, y'all, this is the stuff. This is the era y'all never got. Back in the Black Friday heyday era, when they used to just pop the doors open and let everybody book for it, just open it up and everybody just truck it. They didn't know what they were looking for. They didn't know. They just wanted to go in there and just start grabbing. They didn't care what they were grabbing. They would just grab. But you see the 2 or 3 people. You see 2 people running and they on their feet straight. Then you see like 4 or 5 people, because the floors. They need to make them floors super slick. Cause y'all would be, for people in maintenance, they would had just waxed them joints because they wanted to make it all nice and pretty for Black Friday, and them floors be just waxed. And they be running.
Yes.
All you do is see.
I can see that.
And baseball slide because they running too fast and trying to get to the back, because see, most companies keep their electronics in the back. Mm-hmm. So everybody be trying to book, especially for something that's good, or they'll book to the toy department. So y'all remember when what was some stupid stuffed animals?
I know exactly. The Teddy Ruxpin.
The Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The Teddy Ruxpin.
How many people were killed for a Teddy Ruxpin, man?
That and the
Teddy
ammo.
Ruxpin, a Furby, and
the ammo.
Yeah, that one too. That one just booking. But all you see is people slide. And then that person be on the ground trying to get up. Then you see the other people, because they're all running, pushing that person down. Then it's like, stay down.
You know what's crazy?
It's not funny, but it's funny.
It's funny now.
It's funny looking at it in the hindsight, because as an employee just looking at it, we was there for the comedy. We up there, yo, film all. We told the security dude, get all this. We want to run this back. So we be bringing it back after like Black Friday is over. We be running security cameras and stuff. Oh, you see all kinds of. You see the fights. You see the people arguing. But see, it started to get bad because, like I said, they wasn't patting people. Now there is up there people bringing up knives and all. Yeah, for real. They were trying to cut people over some TVs.
You ain't gonna take my 40.
You sure ain't. And you would think it's dudes. No, it ain't even dudes. These be ladies who be up here like about it. It wasn't like a whole bunch of dudes running in there jumping for stuff. It was ladies running there jumping in trying to like fight. The dudes would be up there. That'd be crazy. The dudes would be up there civil. Yo, you need this? Cool. Let me go get this one right here. We straight. They negotiate that out. Sometimes they need to negotiate that in the parking lot. You in line. You in seat 1, you 2, you 3. You in line. All right, bet. What you get? They already talked about it. So when everybody walks in there, y'all get this. If you get there on that side before me, save me a TV real quick. I'll be over there. They done already negotiated that out. What you gonna do? They gave the dude an extra 20 to go hold stuff. They up there like breaking bread in the parking lot. I've seen that happen too. Now I've seen some people try to steal some stuff. Like I said, Black Friday. Everything's a steal. Oh, I've seen people try to steal stuff, run out the store. Back in the era when you could get body slammed.
Seen that happen.
Oh, no, back in the that's
okay, so here's a question. Which era of Black Friday was probably more violent? The late 80s or the early 90s?
90s. Oh, the 90s. Because that's when they didn't care. See, the 80s is when they were scared. Because they didn't know how to handle it. Because there was too much foot traffic and they didn't know what to do. The 90s was like, they walk out of the store stealing something. Catch them. Bring our stuff back. So usually a lot of people get hemmed up at their car by regular employees. Bam! Run that back. Oh yeah, that's when all the stuff started. Then that's when they come to Jasu and all this stuff. All that stuff happened on Black Friday. But but a lot of the shootings and stuff that happened on Black Friday. And it was just the crazy thing is if you looked at those parking lots, like Best Buy would have a line, GameStop would have a line, Ross would have a line. Keep in mind, there was so many lines going on, you didn't know which line was for which. See, people forget that era of lines. You be like, you in a line waiting for something. You think you're in a Best Buy line, and you mess around in a line for Ross. Because they're next door to each other, and there's two different lines. They're both going the same direction.
They're both blue.
Yes. You never know. That's how crazy it got, and that's why companies started making the decisions to, let's run this stuff early. This is the reason why Black Friday now is the way that it is.
Yeah, because it's more like Black November.
Right. So you run it all November. Why? Because they just don't want the craziness to happen. This wasn't because they don't want to run everything on one day. They just don't want all the craziness. So we'll just do it all in a month. We'll do one set of sales 1 week. We'll do a second set of sales week 2. We'll do another set of sales week 3.
We do this. We do that.
And if you're a smart person, because the online era kicked off, once we got to that online era, you know, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they don't even call it Cyber Monday anymore. They call it that just for sales purpose, but it ain't really a Cyber Monday because Cyber Monday is just Black Friday and all that stuff anyway. Order it online. They didn't care. The only reason why they started calling it Cyber Monday is because they want to separate the in-store from the online when they didn't know how to figure out the online portion of it first. Once they figured it out, it's only Black Friday. We'll make it easy. We'll make it easy for everybody. And this is why you got people ordering this stuff online. This was the era that you had. But I always say that. Here's the question for y'all: What was the hottest Black Friday item that y'all seen? The one that you say like people were like just going dummy for.
I think when they did the mini iPods. iPads.
That was a good era.
That was around 2007, 8.
That was a good era.
When the iPad
minis first dropped, that was a good one.
Considering my relatively young career in the workspace compared to y'all two, probably that was a jab.
No, I know. That's why I was laughing. That's why I was laughing.
We old, what? You got it?
But in all seriousness, probably the PS5s, specifically the PS5s, because I remember during that time, you know, even when we were just selling them regular before Black Friday, but especially on Black Friday, people just kept asking about them. I swear, almost every other customer had the word PS5 on their lips.
Yeah, because they were sought after because they didn't have them at the time because we had just came out of COVID and the PS5s and the Xbox was just like the hottest thing smoking because you just couldn't get your hands on them. And the ones who had them, they were like overpriced, so they wanted to get them at a decent price point. So yeah, that was highly sought after. I always think
What about the Switch?
No.
Switch did.
No, I want to say the hottest thing besides the Teddy Ruxpin was one of them. Ooh, I remember that.
Wait, was it the Boogie Boards?
Hey, what about Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies was hot, but that was kind of hot all year. But that wasn't necessarily
weird.
That wasn't with a Black Friday thing. The Teddy Ruxpin was hot.
Turbo Man?
No, I got it. Tickle Me Elmo is what
damn,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Tickle Me Elmo was the one.
Yeah.
Man, when them things drop
Saw them two girls fighting over that.
No, man. Because I remember when they first dropped, they dropped before Black Friday. But they dropped like one wave of them. And then they held them. Every company held them. Toys R Us held them. Walmart held them.
I miss Toys R Us, damn.
Everybody held them stinking Tickle Me Elmos for Black Friday. Because they knew that, we have them Tickle Me Elmos. We're going to get people in there. Oh, sure enough you did. And guess what you had? You saw ladies fist fighting over Tickle Me Elmo. I mean, literally getting minked.
It was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, they were getting minked over some Tickle Me Elmos. I think that was probably the hottest thing, like the hottest singular item smoking, even above like I know you said PS5. I think the PS3 era, as far as like gaming stuff, was super hot. The PSP era was super smoking. I mean, it was like they were trying to fight for them joints too. Because when they first dropped them during November. Because the first wave of them came out in November, and then they waited till Black Friday to drop the rest of them. Yeah.
What about GameCube?
No. A lot of the older stuff wasn't as hot because people wasn't really buying gaming consoles like the GameCube,
because it was still perceived as
they sold era. I think back in 2000, I would say 12 or 13, they did sell the HP laptops. I seen a lot of those on Black Friday.
Yeah, I mean, certain laptops were doing really well, but as far as like the one thing that people would just jump over hoops to get, yeah, the Tickle Me Elmo was the one. I think that would be the one for me that I seen like firsthand. Like, yo, it's just like, I mean, you couldn't even walk into the line to pay for the thing without it being a fight. People were trying to snatch them out of baskets and like run and snatch them joints. So you were
around.
Yeah, they didn't care. They did not. They had no chill. See, I know you wasn't at Walmart long enough for that big. I know you were there long enough to see that.
I seen that all. Especially now with the sound face rings when they
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. And y'all forget the whole parking lot, people fighting in the parking lot for stuff. And see, that's why I said Black Friday now. Everybody's like, oh, people get scared of Black Friday. Like, ain't nothing scary about Black Friday now. Nothing.
Just don't be black.
Don't be black for Black. Leave you alone.
Just let that settle in.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
But you know what's so funny though? They had to do it like put Black Friday a day after Thanksgiving or a day before Thanksgiving.
Who thought of that?
That's why I thought that was kind of crazy.
You want to know why? Because that's typically back in the day, that was the one day because it's on a Friday, most companies would have off.
I thought it was because when people eat turkey, they're stupid.
That too. That too.
No, it's just they act stupid. They full of turkey.
No, because
they're gonna act gobbly.
The whole answer was most companies would like most offices and stuff because Thanksgiving was on a Thursday. They were like, oh, y'all can have Friday off. Businesses was like, well, since everybody's out and about, they want to shop. It's a good time to get something.
When was the first Black Friday? There's like no way it was a thing in the 50s, was it?
No. This started in the
90s.
I want to say the late 80s.
Because it really does sound like it cropped up in that era.
The late 80s? That's something you have to Google. You have to kind of Google the birth.
Let me play info broker here.
The first like real Black Friday, I want to say like 80. If I was to guess, 87.
1887?
No, not 18. I mean old. 1987 is what I would project.
All right.
Dang, that's crazy. It's just like I always think of like what Black Friday was versus what Black Friday is. I mean,
damn.
What was it?
No. I could be wrong. Let me look a little deeper here. That don't seem right.
People out there barbecuing in the parking lot on Black Friday.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. It was like like in certain spots, it was like an actual like block party. I mean, people was out there like cooking,
shooting dice.
So it started in about the 1960s.
Really?
Yeah. Some retail historians trace the use of the phrase to the 1960s when police officers in Philadelphia started calling the day after Thanksgiving Black Friday because they had to work overtime to deal with the chaos downtown as hordes of suburban shoppers came to the city to start their holiday shopping or attend traditional Army-Navy football game on Saturday. I think it's hilarious that cops...
Suburban shoppers, we already know what that means. That's cool.
I was like, all right, I was closer.
You weren't that far off.
But yeah.
We ain't trying to hold these brothers out here like that. So we trying to make sure they ain't stealing nothing.
They get what they gotta get.
You know what? Wait. So y'all remember the LA riots, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did that happen?
In 92.
No, I know it was in the 90s, but like the time of year, like the summer.
Yeah, that was a good question. I will say then
Yeah.
November, probably no.
Summer '92, maybe.
Let me crank it out.
September, maybe September. I would guess September. The Rodney King riots.
The LA riots, 1993.
Yeah, it was the riots was that's a different conversation altogether. I mean, y'all were kind of young for that. I just remember having to go to my grandmother's house at Merck Park to make sure she was straight, and it was a.
April to May.
That sounds about right. That sounds about
I
right.
think I was about 6.
Yeah, it was no. Yeah, it had to been April and May. The reason why is because I remember I was still in school.
I had to be in 6th grade, I think.
Yeah, I was still in school, and I know that me, my mom, and my sister, we had to go drive and make sure my grandmother was okay because they were rioting and looting and stuff. We had to make sure because she was in Lamar Park, even though she was in a good part, but still, you had to stay.
No, I know it's weird to bring up LA riots in our Black Friday conversation, but I
No, that's
brought it
fine.
up because you'd be curious to think what Black Friday would be like at that year, considering that in California, in LA specifically, because of the LA riots, considering that did cause a lot of damage.
Well, what happened was the bigger businesses was able to capitalize, but the small businesses got clipped because they were trying to rebuild. So they didn't get a chance to get.
So the money they would have needed to rebuild
They,
was missed
they
out on.
lost that opportunity because keep in mind a lot of these businesses that were destroyed, burned, looted, whatever it may be. Even though you got insurance against some of that stuff, a lot of these smaller businesses didn't have like major insurance to absorb those type costs. So a lot of those businesses went away. So in turn, a lot of those smaller mom and pop shops became mini like other companies' mini franchises. So that's why when you had shops like this shop was black owned, this shop was black owned, this shop was black owned. If you run down that block, if you run down King now, you run that or Obama Boulevard. If you run down Obama Boulevard now and you see it, a lot of those businesses aren't black owned. They are Asian owned, Arabic owned. Yeah, I'm just being honest with
You're not lying. You're not lying.
No,
European.
it's not ours anymore.
You mean I'm not white?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's not. I'm not saying
What is the
I'm not
problem?
saying no. I'm not saying that.
What do
I'm
you
just saying
mean
that
I'm
they're
not
either ran by Asian or Indian.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because there was the
You're
ones.
my own sister.
Yeah, there was the ones who said, "Look, we'll put products out there because they know that for us, like I said, that riots we tricked that off ourselves. That was so much on us where we
What, the 92?
yes
Yeah.
we messed up so much during that time that
Y'all never thought I'd see two different generations.
Where were you? Oh, you were here. You said you were at your grandma's.
so I was going to school 92. I was a junior in high school. I was going to school. I went to Artesia High School, of course. I was in Lakewood, but my grandmother was in LA, so I had to basically make sure she was good. But when I say about we messed up that era, is because it's not like other people destroyed our stuff. We destroyed our own stuff. We looted our own stuff. We looted our own businesses. We messed up that. And because of that, we wasn't able to rebuild that. So we wasn't able to recapture. Yeah, you got some of your barbershops and stuff, they got back on their feet and stuff. But real businesses like real clothing shops and like liquor stores, whatever it may be, we lost that.
How different do you think LA would have been if the riots never happened?
A lot different. Because you would have, guess what? You would have had a lot more businesses, more sustainable.
Well, okay.
And a lot of stuff.
No,
And a lot
what
of
I'm
stuff
asking here is, I'm not saying that the Rodney King beating never happened, but let's just say it was never recorded, never known about.
Yeah, he would have been dead.
Yeah, that's what.
I'll be completely honest.
And it's just like, but a lot of things kind of shaped what happened. But I'd say it was a test. How can I put this the right way? No, I'm just gonna tell y'all straight. Speak the truth, shame the devil. We as black folk, because we destroyed our own stuff. People who would like give out loans and things like that, they didn't trust black people to do more with the money because like, look, why put money into it when y'all want to ruin it?
Now, here's the question: what would you do if, say, someone were to say, "Well, the riots would have never happened if those cops weren't crooked"?
Well, here's the thing. Just because let's say the riots didn't happen, something else is going to happen.
So, okay.
Because
so,
here's what was going. So think about the era, '92. This was in the height of what you call the gang era. What I mean by the height of it is that this is when every single conversation on the news was about there's gangs in this area, gangs in this area, and they were really clashing with each other at this point in time. It was really, and I'm not talking street politics on this podcast. I'm not gonna do that. But it was really a lot of that stuff going on. When them street politics was going off, the kicker to this Rodney King thing was it actually unified a lot of them. Because if it didn't unify them, guess what would have happened? They would have destroyed it. They were the ones terrorizing people on the block and like, you can't pull up to this gas station without this. You can't pull up to this store without this. You cannot, where you pulling up to get dinner at Sizzler's and at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza, there was a Sizzler out there, but then you're getting pressed by somebody where you from, and you're getting pressed, and you just having dinner with your family and stuff, and you getting pressed. That's how we would have messed it up anyway. That was the whole problem, and companies know that. And that's why it's hard for businesses to get off the ground now to be a minority, because they don't trust it, because they have that in the back of their head amongst other things.
Okay, so the question
just
really...
be honest with you.
No. So just to help clarify somewhat, okay. So naturally, like most riots and most wars or most anything, most conflicts, it's not really about what happened in the beginning. It's just that tension was always there. That was just used as a spark,
right,
if you will. So essentially, you're saying the riots would have happened inevitably, no matter what. Rodney King was just an excuse.
It was enough of a issue to make it happen. Now, I'll tell you the other thing that could have happened where it could have been a riot. So everybody says the OJ thing. Yeah, OJ got free. But what if they put OJ in jail? See, what people don't understand is that era was contentious too, just as contentious as the Rodney King thing. If they would have put OJ in jail, as much as people say that, well, we know he did it, back in the day when people were still like, dog, he black, we riding for OJ. They put him in jail, they would have turned the city over again. I was being honest with you, because they didn't know OJ like that. They didn't know if he did or didn't do it. But if they would have said he was guilty, with all the edginess that came around with the OJ trial, it would have happened then. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Just because one didn't happen, that doesn't mean the other one wouldn't have happened. We were always on edge. So when you're living in the thing about inner city, and I know that we're on the kind of the outskirts of inner city as far as like what we say. Yes. But when you're in inner city, it's always contentious. It's always something. And a lot of it is we do it to ourselves. We don't ease up. So if we're walking around on edge, and then we're pressing people coming into our city because we gotta protect our block, we gotta protect this, it's always on edge. So the smallest of things causes something. Some kid get nicked out of high school, guess what happens? It's a whole turf war over one kid who was running his mouth and got socked up because he was running his mouth. But instead of that is, well, I'm connected up with this, and then it's a whole war over somebody getting socked. Not shot, not anything else, just socked. Over some work, because that's how much on edge we conduct ourselves. If we would conduct ourselves better, you wouldn't have all this edginess and stuff happening, and people would trust us with more.
Now, what would you tell to the person, Cameron, who says, well, the reason we can't conduct ourselves is because of the white man?
Because we don't, no, it's a good question.
That's what I'm saying.
Because people think that, well, it's the white man or the white business or the white, no.
I hear what these
they don't control your conduct. Now, of course, there's always going to be some sort of racism, but guess what? Minority people, y'all are racist towards them too, but y'all just don't want to say it like that. Gone is the era of the slavery era, quote unquote. But y'all conduct yourselves as if we're still in it, like, oh, they just kind of hate us. No, there's some people who do hate y'all. Don't get it messed up.
Oh yeah, that's always going to be there.
Yeah, but that's always going to be there. But it's not like what y'all think it is. This is not Michelle Beadle going on national TV talking about you niggas when they talking about the Denver Nuggets. You know what I mean?
Did you caught that?
I saw that. We ain't talking about that.
I thought that was a joke, but then I'm looking like, wait.
No, because she said it a little bit too casual. Like you either A, you've been around too many people who or B, you've been around too many brothers, and you've been like a little bit too loose at the lips, and you like
been around Stephen A.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you're always going to have some sort of semblance of that, no matter what, because you're not going to get along with everybody, and it's okay. And it's okay. Well, what does that mean? Is that y'all have to fight each other every single time y'all come around with people?
But
no.
you know how that goes, especially if you go on somebody's blog. And you ain't even trying to look for any trouble or anything.
I know, but
you know, people got that mentality, especially.
It's everybody's so on edge about stuff.
And who homie right there coming on the block?
Right.
Who that chick coming on the block?
Right. And everything's a conversation piece. Like, yo, but what about the? Y'all so scared like somebody's going to infringe on something. Like, look, y'all just live your life and do better. Because if y'all did, guess what? You'll be able to invest more, do more for your city. Like, look, if you're trying to ride for your city, when you want to try to build up your city, you don't want your city to be raggedy and like all this stuff going down. You want your city to have good shops, good eating places, all this stuff. This is what y'all want. Because y'all want to be able to raise y'all kids in an era that's better. But the problem is that we don't want to do that. We don't want to raise our kids in an era that's better. We want to be super thugs.
Yeah, it seems like there was a shift in time because, I mean, let's face it, there's always been some form of organized crime in, well, America since it was founded, just like everywhere else. But we went from a time of mobsters to gangsters. And I know some would say it wasn't the same thing. Well, no, mobsters, people would argue, had class.
Same thing.
But
it's like their appearance are different.
People would say that they were more classy, if you will, but there ain't really nothing classy about being a criminal.
Right.
But
just like watching The Sopranos.
Yeah, like that, for example. Like
y'all played Like a Dragon.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, that was a fun game.
Time shifted from mobster to gangster, and when people started being gangsters, that's when it really seemed to really start to bother the general population.
Well, because everybody, you know how everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody wanted to be a gangster because everybody, all they saw was just money and opportunity. And the thing is that, like I told y'all, it's the ladies who kind of, well, let me go where the money is. So they go where the mobsters.
Really, again, the more forbidden fruit. The apple wasn't enough.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling you that's what it was. It's, you know, like I said, ladies chase after money, guys chase after ladies. Stupid.
So, do people even still say gangbanger anymore?
It all depends.
Or are they just thugging?
It all depends.
The reason why they don't.
Who they say, or who they're around.
No, I'm just asking, like, is that phrase even used?
They don't really say the phrase anymore because
elderly people do, like them gangbangers.
Yeah, I'm just saying older people do, but younger people, the reason why they don't say it like that because they always want to try to mask what it really is. So they'll use another
soccer
term.
team.
No, they'll use another term.
Use that too.
No, they'll use another term for it.
We're trying to buy new uniforms. Would you like to buy some chocolate? You
Like
look like you don't be in high school anymore. What are you talking about?
It's just we're in that.
That's how it is.
It's like we're in that era where it's like, you know, we just do a lot. We do a lot of stuff to mess ourselves up.
Oh yeah, this is everyone too. This ain't black, brown, or white.
This has nothing to do with race. This is everybody. It's everybody. And this is why when you get mad when you see it, because see when you see it on a lower scale, you're like, dog, well we messed up our city and stuff. But when you see it happening in grander scales, like, dog, this is how the government functions. Yeah, government's not much different. Oh, this is how the Hollywood's been functioning. You know, people getting all crazy about the Diddy thing. But guess what? That just tells you that just because they got bread, that doesn't mean they don't function like that. They function like gangsters and thugs. They don't function no different. They're actually worse because now you got the same mentality with money.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is just enabling them, and who's gonna tell them no? That's the problem you have. And that's why you see that when you see all these people getting in trouble, you be like, well, is anybody good? Well, the Bible already said ain't
no one good
on this earth, not one.
Which is why it's like, you know, going back, rewinding a little bit in our conversation, it's like everyone is suspect for the D. Diddy party thing. And if they didn't go to a P. Diddy party, they probably went to something similar.
Right.
Everyone is suspect.
Exactly.
Even if they're not on that list, that doesn't mean they're not guilty.
Right. And that's why I said it's something that is going to blow up in your face. People forget that, yeah, Trump may fix a few things here and there, but guess what? You understand this is the one who just said grab the girl in the Y'all forget that he did say this, right?
Why do you think people voted for him?
Because the reason why they voted for him, because he was a celeb. Didn't I tell y'all that politics is just a glorified popularity contest?
He literally won the popular vote.
He won literally. He's just more popular than Kamala. If Kamala was any remotely of a celebrity like he was, she wins. She's just not a celeb.
You know, honestly, the way things are going, people are talking about, people are worried about World War III and all that, whatnot. Personally, I don't think that's what Americans really should be thinking about, because if you've been paying attention to the recent political scene, specifically about our borders, if anything, it sounds like America might go to war against the cartels, which by extension may mean conflict with the Mexican government. I would not be surprised within the next 4 years we see another American-Mexican war.
Oh no, they're going to, because I know what Trump is thinking. So he's thinking
because I'm not him, not Trump per se. I think one of his advisors or the dude in charge of the border is they're considering using the U.S. military to kill off cartels.
Yes, they're trying to clean this up by force, meaning that they're trying to get some of the.
Are we gonna see another Vietnam?
They better bring a whole team to try to take on the cartel.
Oh no, they can go. They can get.
I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just saying.
They can get what I'm. Don't
It's
worry
gonna
about
get
it.
because if that happens, I don't think people are gonna understand how close that fight's gonna be.
No, because what he doesn't, what they don't understand is a lot of them people are connected, and they're not just connected we're dealing with the Mexican ones. Oh, you don't think they ain't connected to the people in China? You don't think they're connected to the people in Brazil?
It's a spider web.
Yeah, it's all a network.
It's say he successfully bumps off the cartels in Mexico, right? Say they're wiped out. But cartels will always be an issue. They're everywhere. They're in Brazil, like you said. They're out in Europe. They're everywhere, and they're also deep rooted here in the U.S.
Listen, if you knock out a cartel in the next spot, another cartel is gonna move right in.
Yeah, because it's
just like any other gang or any other association. You know how hard it is to knock off any one of them. They tried.
Yeah, because
you do understand they tried to do it in the States.
Yeah, he's trying
let me try to get the Crips and the Bloods and all. Trying to knock them off.
He's
really
trying.
Think you're knocking them off?
Because he's even labeling them. He's like, don't even call them cartels. They're going to be labeled as terrorists.
Yes, and I get it. And don't get it wrong. I'm not saying on paper what he's trying to do is just it's setting up for.
It's going to be very, very bloody.
No. What he's trying to do, and I get the thing. Close off the borders to try to control the drug intake, all that stuff that comes along with it. I know what he's trying to do. I get it. It's just risky business. It's a lot of stuff that he's talking about. It's very risky. Dealing with the border, dealing with them, cutting off, imposing high tariffs on Chinese products and stuff, and all foreign products. That's risky. You want to know why? Because it's not just the stuff that you think it's just this. You're talking about chips, processors that run your computers. You're talking about clothes. You're talking about certain foods. And if you're trying to talk about adding extra tariffs and taxes against that stuff, do you know how hard it is or how much more money you have to pay for certain things?
Of course. Especially out
as
there.
Much of stuff that everybody says, this company is in America. But a lot of the product is not American made. There's only a handful of companies that got American made stuff. Tesla's one of them. And even then they have to outsource certain things in order to get it done.
Yeah, it's it was designed in America, but it's produced somewhere else.
Right, but some of the parts that you need to make it happen comes from someplace else. So if you start imposing tariffs and stuff to bring that stuff in, you don't think you're going to impact Tesla, Apple, all these companies that's viable right now? You just really cripple them.
That's just like going to Universal, but it's more than one. Hollywood, got one in Japan.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that it's
going to be a hell of a 4 years, man.
It's a very tricky thing that you're trying to do. I'm not saying that it can't be pulled off. I'm not saying it can't be done.
But see, here's the thing. You think you're gonna do it the right way, or you think you're gonna do it wrong?
He's gonna do it his way.
He's gonna do it. Yeah. I mean, you gotta understand. He's lining up the people to say, look, this is what we're gonna try to do. He says that the border stuff gotten out of control, and it has, because, like I said, when people are starts coming over and start taking over people's properties and just basically like running into people's houses, you can't kick them out because of the law saying that you can't kick them out. Then that's a problem, because basically you're having people who are just like just running like homeless people, just running into people's houses and just say, I'm just going to camp out in your house.
Illegal.
You can't move them. And it's legal to a degree because you can't force them out. Because the police can't force them out, nobody can force them out. So what? So that in itself caused conflict, because now you're going to have regular homeowners and said, you can't get them out, I'll get them out. I'm just going to gun up and start bombing them. Y'all really want that? But these are things that he was seeing in the process, and so I understand what he's talking about. But I also understand that once you start down this rabbit hole,
it's like, dude, this is a fire that's not going to be put out easily, man.
I mean,
but this is what we set ourselves up
so
for.
give or take, if this does be a success, how do you think they're running now? With everything changes about the border. You think they're running to code and got everybody, on watch alert and everything like that?
Oh no, they're trying to screen everybody. And see, here's the thing: everybody's only concerned. See, here's the thing: everybody's only concerned about Mexico, because everybody's under the assumption that, well, that's where all the drugs are coming in. You gotta understand. This is everybody.
I think people forget Mexico connects to other places.
Right. This is all South America. People just go way from like Ecuador and travel just to get to the U.S. just to get in.
Now this is completely fantasy, but like, you know how insane it would be if America annexed Mexico. You know how insane that would be.
I mean, if they really wanted to go at it with Mexico, they would have, and they would have done it a long time ago. They just really don't want. They really don't want to do this. I mean, the answer is they really don't want to have. They don't want to go through a whole big old thing with Mexico, because the problem is, if you start going through it with Mexico, you understand the
ball will start rolling.
No, you understand the countries who really want to get after the U.S. and be like, well, since Mexico's a job bombing on Mexico, Russia could start putting stuff in Mexico. China could put stuff in Mexico. Korea could start putting stuff in Mexico. Now you're too close. The reason why you gotta be cool with Mexico is you can't have people that close.
They're a buffer state.
Yes. Why do you think you gotta be cool with Canada? Because you don't want people that close. What's been happening in Israel and all that stuff is that those countries are so close, is that you don't have protection to get somebody over there to help y'all. Y'all don't have people to protect y'all on the outside, so y'all can easily get bombed on.
You think if, so say hypothetically, America decided to like launch a war to annex Mexico, do you think they'd drag NATO in?
They have to. But keep in mind, Mexico's part of NATO.
That's like, how would that work?
Because they would have to vote.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they had to vote.
And you want to know why? Like,
that would be a big.
You want to know why? Because if they were saying like, look, then you have to, and keep in mind, a vote is just not just a vote. A vote comes with negotiation.
Because like, I don't think there's ever been a peaceful annexation in history.
No,
so.
you will have to negotiate a lot of stuff with a lot of different countries that you really don't want to have to. You don't have to negotiate with England and negotiate with Germany and negotiate with certain countries. You don't want to have to do that. But guess what happens when they went with like the Iraq and thing? Iraq had to negotiate with the U.S. If you do this, we'll give you this.
Yeah or nay.
And then the U.S. has to make a call, be like, y'all can use this, we now, whatever. But here's what we're gonna need. Once y'all done, we need this amount of oil to help us over here, so we can keep our gas prices low. You see how this works? It's not just like, we just do this just on the love. And we do it on negotiation. It's like a relationship. People, it's contractual half the time. And when you talk about contractual, everything is contractual. You gotta negotiate these things.
Well, like I said, at this day and age, we just gonna have to just wait and see what happens. I mean, so much stuff is transparent, with this vote and everything else. And then if he can get, I mean, it's gonna take some work and it's gonna take some time. But if he can get the border under control, where people are safe to cross in and cross out, as long as we you have your pass and stuff like that, or stop people coming legal from the border to over here. It's gonna take some time.
Yep.
If he's trying to knock down some of the cartels, you better be prepared because it's not just it's more than one of them out there.
True.
Oh, happy Black Friday, everybody.
Facts.
All right, boys. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts, fellas.
At this point, I'm too tired.
But
for
you did good, Paulie.
I still been bummed. I will say this, everybody have a safe Thanksgiving and Black Friday. If you go out there to go shopping, please don't be out there acting a fool because your butt will go to jail. And you're gonna miss out on the turkey and the stuffing and all sweet potato pies and chocolate cake and macaroni and cheese and all high blood pressure food. So
everything your doctor don't want
you
you to
guys
eat.
just have a safe and blessed Thanksgiving.
Oh, we'll be on before Thanksgiving.
Just in case, you never know.
I'm talking about them.
No,
wait, all of
we're gonna
us.
do an episode before Thanksgiving. Y'all acting like we ain't gonna do nothing before Thanksgiving.
Well, then they get a double blessing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just giving it.
We're gonna give them 2 plates.
I'm just speaking the knowledge.
Anyways, as always, everybody, glad to be back. Glad to have you with us this episode. Our topics may seem a little strange today, but we're just glad to be back in the studio, aka Paul's living room. But we hope you found the topic entertaining, and we hope that you found it informative to some degree. If you didn't, please leave a comment down below about how much you think we're terrible at this. We'd love to know. And of course, as always, we hope to see you in the next episode. And if this is your first episode with us, I strongly encourage you to listen to the episode before this, and the one before that one, and the one before that one, and the one before that one. Practically all of them, please.
Tell your mama, tell your mama's mama, tell anybody.
Make sure to tell everyone you know about us. To make sure you tell your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunts, your grandma, your friends, your enemies, your dog, your cat, your fish.
Too funny.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
I am for real. I never meant to make your daughter cry. No. Make sure to tell that. Make sure to tell the homeless guy in the corner. Everyone, because nowadays even homeless people got phones paid for by the government. I ain't crazy about that.
That's a fact.
But enough about that. I know this episode may be a little more political than some people would have liked, but you know how it is. We talk about everything from Xbox to cartel wars.
We kind of ran the circle of topics. It's kind of crazy today. But
Cameron, take the mic.
But hopefully y'all got a little bit of something out of the conversation that we had. So hopefully y'all learned something. The one thing I will always say is that, in most of your environments, you're always going to see like a divide and conflict, but what you would want to see more so than anything else, you want to see people start to build something. Because when you start to build something, like, if you build your life and the people around you, your community tends to be a little bit better. The things that's around you tends to be better. Once you start seeing things like that, then you'll start to understand, like, wow, things are good when we don't have to deal with conflict at every single stop, walking around the corner, there's a conflict. Going to the gas station, there's a conflict. You want to go to a point where you can be comfortable going to your house, going to certain spaces where you could feel safe, at least somewhat welcome, And I think that's one of the things that, we have to learn as society is like not to always be on edge about every little itty bitty thing and learn how to grow and build and get to something more positive. And the other thing is, about like the politics and stuff, I know we kind of touched on that. From a politics point of view, you always want to be aware of what's going on. Don't let that be like, oh, I'm so locked in, I have to watch CNN 24 hours a day just get the latest.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Please don't do that. Just be aware of what's going on, but don't be so engulfed in it like, oh, well, you're living on edge just because you hear one or two different things. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's always going to be in God's hands, like always, So just kind of keep that in mind and just keep building. Keep building, keep growing, keep connecting. And you know how we do as a PVC Podcast Crew. We're going to keep bringing y'all that great content. We're going to keep giving y'all that knowledge and stuff and keep laying pipe. No dick. Anywho, y'all know how we get down. For my man Paul, for my man Vic, my name is Cam, a.k.a. Mr. Nerdboy Fresh.
Freaky.
Like always, it is God above everything. Until the next time, family, we'll do this again soon.
Much love and respect.
Salute.